All right, you guys, you ready? Wow, wait. Well, welcome to November 10th, 2020. Let's take a breath into this moment in time. Wow, what a moment in time in our history, in our personal history, and yeah, breathing into it. And welcome, paradigm shifters. Woo! As of this morning, we are at 403 members. Isn't that wild? From all over the continents, and like 9 countries, people all over the United States. And people have come together in this particular group because we are in a shift. And we're here to support and love each other in a shift. You feeling it, Grace, down in Wimberley?
Absolutely.
Yes. so far we've had, we've had grandmas, we've had grandpas, we've had this and that. And in my mind, in the back of my head, it was like, wait a minute. What about our youth? What about our kids? And for, I know, Beverly up in Canada, and people, what about our grandkids? Yeah. And, so many times I feel we're caught up in our own worlds that we're kind of forgetting. So I thought, I know, I will contact Grace. Right? So let me tell you a little bit about my buddy from Wimberley, Texas, and her dog. Okay, well, my family would travel from Leander down through the hill country for an hour and a half to go to church at Unity of Wimberley, which is a church on a ranch on a hill. Low water crossings you go through to get on the hill. And you would go in and you felt this feeling of acceptance and love. And the services were good. They were really good. However, the best part of the services for me, when we would sing, "You are the light, you are the light, you are the light of this world." And all the children would come in. And we would sing to them, because you are the light of this world. And then to bring up the end of all these children were the Youth of Unity, led by Grace. And I first met Grace and her sister, her twin sister, Faith, when you guys were in middle school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, there's 2 powerhouses there.
We didn't even know it.
I know.
When we first came to Unity, we had no idea what was in store for us and what that church had to offer us.
Well, then, so last week, we went down to Wimberley, Jody and I, and we wanted to have a cup of coffee. So we went to the square, and we went to this coffee shop looking for Grace. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Grace. So let me tell you a little bit about my friend, Grace Calvanese. Okay. At 19 years old, Grace has a perspective that I feel we are all yearning for. Grace is a leader in the Youth of Unity, or was, or is, we'll talk more about. She's traveled to Africa to help transform teens with the movement. And during the pandemic, Grace was one of those teens that was graduating in 2020. Can you imagine? Grace currently works in Sip's coffee shop in Wimberley, Texas. Right? Sip?
No. I actually work at a different coffee shop. It opened about 5.5 months ago, and it's called Cypress Creek Coffee House. And it was opened by a young entrepreneur businesswoman. She is the most amazing, badass person I know. And so I immediately, whenever I first went there, I met her and I immediately was like, I have to work here. And I started, 3 months ago. And now I just got promoted, I think a couple weeks ago, maybe a month, to manager. And so I'm managing that coffee shop right now. And my dream is to open up my own. And I'm learning a lot from Jenna, who owns the coffee shop. She really wants to just like save me a bunch of money for college and teach me everything I need to know.
Well, what I would like to ask you is, like, tell us, if you would, tell us what this last year pretty much has been like for you since March, when everything got shut down. And and you're in touch with those teens and those young people. If you can give us a sense of what you all were going through and maybe some shifts you've made, anything, we're just here to listen to you. What was that like, or what is it like?
So for me, it was a little bit different than most of my friends and also my twin sister. I applied in February 2018 to go to this school called Live Oak Academy. And it's basically a mostly online school. So you still have to go into school, but for less time, either a half a day, or you can go in the full day if you want. But it's either for kids that are at risk of failing high school for whatever reason. There's lots of reasons, or people that are just over high school and really want to get out and get their life started. And I was in that category. And so it took me 6 months to get accepted, but I got accepted in February 2019. And I went there until January of 2020, and I graduated early. So I graduated right before the pandemic happened. And I started working full time. I got 2 jobs. I've always been a barista since I could work. And so I was working at Summer Moon, which is a really big coffee shop in Texas. And I got a job at a pizza place. And so I was doing doubles. I was just working so much. And that was the goal of me graduating early, was so that I could get a head start on saving up and moving out and getting out of Texas, because I want to go to Colorado.
Yeah.
But so then in March, I took a road trip, which was absolutely life-changing. It was me and 3 of my best friends, and we went and visited 2 of my friends from connections from YOU, which is Youth of Unity, which is our youth program from our church. And yes, were you gonna say something?
No, I wanted you to talk to us about, like, what are some of the principles, because you have that core group of friends with the principles that you grew up in. So tell us more about that, and how that's maybe kind of getting you through this. All of us have been through at 19, everybody here. And I'm just really curious. It's so different. It seems like you're going through changes right now. We all are. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest things for me that I've had to overcome in the past couple months, and that I'm still working on every single day, is patience. I am not the kind of person that likes to wait around for things. And for a lot of different reasons, patience is the most important part of life. And so a couple of like principles that me and my friends from unity churches have all kind of grown around, I guess, together, is manifestation. Is every single thought that you have is a prayer. And I think that that's a really important thing in changing your mindset for anything, for life. So if you're constantly in your head, subconsciously and consciously manifesting who you want to be as a person, what you want your life to look like, just little things, like every little thing in your life, if you're constantly manifesting that and putting positive energy towards all of your goals and aspirations and how you want your life to turn out, then you're going to get that energy back from the universe. Like the universe will provide for you no matter what happens, even if the world's on fire, which half the world is on fire, and there's a global pandemic going on, like the universe is still going to provide for you in your everyday life. And you may not be able to see it right then and there, like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. But then maybe a couple days later, maybe a week or two, you're like, oh my gosh, that was for me. And I think that what's important in staying connected with your friends that have like mindset as you is they support your growth and your positive energy that you're putting out there. They're going to put it right back to you. And I think that there's been a lot of depression and suffering and anxiety around the pandemic, just not only because it's an unknown and it's scary, but this is the first time that all of our lives have kind of been like flipped upside down. And people, I mean, my age at least, we got screwed the hardest. Like no grad parties, no graduation in general, like no prom, no, your senior year is canceled. Everything you work for your entire life, everything that everyone tells you you're working for your entire life is a sham. It's gone, it's out the window. And now you have to move on to the real world. Like, sorry, you know? And so like, one of my best friends, she is one of the smartest people I know. She graduated second of our class, and she got accepted to Princeton. And Princeton emailed her and said, hey, we're canceling all on campus classes this semester. Sorry. And she was devastated. Like it threw her. And she was like, my life is a lie. Everything I've been working for, it's a lie. Like, I don't want to do Princeton from Kyle, Texas. That's what defeats the purpose of going to Princeton. And so she was in a big rut for a while, and she decided, you know what, like I can make whatever I want of my life, and I'm going to be doing Princeton, whether I'm in New Jersey or in Texas. So she went to the Dominican Republic, she went to Puerto Rico, not the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. And she's been doing Princeton from Puerto Rico with 3 other of her Princeton friends that she just found on social media and reached out to and said, hey, you're going to Princeton too. Let's go to Puerto Rico and do this so we don't have to do it in our beds. And they rented an Airbnb for a semester. And they're experiencing what this is like in Puerto Rico. And so, I mean, it's all about who you surround yourself with. And like, yeah, you can be sad about this because it is sad. You can be upset and frustrated and depressed, and that's okay. But as long as you know that this is only temporary and your pain and depression is literally like, it's so real, but it's not going to be forever, then you can move on with your life, you know, like with that still feeling, you know. But
So what I think this is really interesting I'm taking notes here. I don't know about anybody else because oh, I could go to I could go here and I can still go here. And there's something about that. And I just wanted to add, who's ever watching this, imagine, yourself, where were you at 19 years old? Where, that is a tipping point, age. Where were you? And so many times, Grace, I must say, I'm so guilty of this. I want to go out and fix everybody. I want to go fix
Oh yeah.
everybody and tell you, you shouldn't feel like this. You shouldn't there. When I was 19, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody, I think it was one of my daughters, that said, you don't know what it's like to be 19 in 2020, 19 years old. So just be quiet. Let us have our life. And so I'm just laughing because I'm laughing at myself. And so, the other question I wanted to bring up, because I know there's someone up here in here from, we've got global listeners over here, global watchers. And one of the questions I think that has been brought up is the mental health of the youth right now. And the mental health of like, it's like what you said, it's all falling apart, and that angst, and quite frankly, the rise in suicide, the rise in drug addiction, and everything. So what I would like to ask you is, like, if you were to give tools, strategies and tools, that's what Paradigm Shifters is all about. What is a strategy or a tool that, because I know YOU's all over that. YOU, by the way, I'll say that, Youth of Unity. It could be youth of whatever it is. Youth of. There's this energy there. So at any rate, do you have anything that you could pass on, not just to us who might be the grandmothers and mothers, but to any one of your friends or your age group globally? I know you traveled to Africa. I'm going to turn this over to you, and what would you suggest or have a tool that you've used?
So with everything that you said at the beginning of that, I think it's important, I think, for me to preface, I don't want to like blanket statement all of my age group mental health for my age group, because I really just like I don't know, I haven't researched into any of that. But I think that we are definitely going into the age of Aquarius, which is a lot of change and shift and transformation. And with that, it's really helpful for me to just like break down everything and start from scratch, which like can be a journey. But if something is continually causing me pain and suffering with myself or my surroundings or whatever I'm interacting with, I just want to break it down to the very bottom level and see what is this really about, and then build from there and like make it what I want. Because what we mainly teach at YOU is you are the creator of your universe. You're the creator of your life. I remember we told a story one time that basically said, there's no one else in this world except for you. And so what you do with it is your choice completely. And whenever you feel like you're stuck or you're just playing someone else's game. Break down and see what really is going on, like at the very bottom level, and then build what you want, build your life how you want it. And it's hard because change is scary. Change is unknown, and unknown is scary to the humans. And so you have to have support, you have to have people that you can talk to about it. I journal a lot. Journaling is like my mind grounder. Like if I'm frantic and like having a bad day or something's going on in my life that I'm struggling with, I'll go back a couple days and read my journal, and I'm like, oh, I was like completely the opposite mindset like 3 days ago, or I had the opposite opinion 3 days ago. And then it kind of just like centers me back into like grounding myself in what reality is, what's actually happening. Journaling is like my favorite tool to like have other people try and for me to do. It's like sometimes hard. I have been lately like forced journaling at 10:30 p.m. like going to bed, forcing myself to journal. But it really does help to get all of your thoughts out.
Wow, thank you so much. Wow. Yeah. Wow. You know, that's good. Even if with the journal, even you know, knowing that it, I think what you said is getting your thoughts out on paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean, like sometimes it's enough for me to just have a really long conversation with my sister or my mom about how I'm feeling today or what's going on in life or what's going on in the world, and just like my thoughts about that and frustrations and stuff. Because like I don't know, I know that if I don't talk to anybody about it all day, then the next day I am acting out of those feelings.
Oh, right. Okay, that's great. That's great. Wow, good. Thank you. So, what I would love to have you do, I asked you before that, one thing that I do know about you or is that you I remember when you were leading everyone in meditation, and I was wondering if you could um, lead us in well, before that, let me ask you this. um, no, if you would, would you lead us in a meditation right now? Would you feel comfortable in doing that?
Yeah, let me I'm gonna go outside. I have this battery.
I love she's on her phone.
Yeah, my computer would die in like 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go outside.
Okay, so everybody who's watching this, let's just get centered, let's get centered and take a deep breath in, and yeah, get in that nice quiet space. And this will be a meditation from Wimberley, Texas.
All right, y'all. I invite everybody to close your outer eyes and open your inner eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath in and sigh it out. Take another deep breath in and laugh it out. I invite you guys to feel whatever is underneath you, whether it be carpet or hard floor, know that underneath what we're standing is connecting all of us. We're living on a big floating ball, and each of us on the big floating ball has a really bright light that's shining out. And so this whole entire floating ball is just shining with light. And the universe sees it. And the universe loves it. And we know that everybody who's shining their light is getting exactly what they need from the universe, exactly when they need it. And we're so thankful. We're so thankful for Mother Earth for hosting us. Just sit in that gratitude for the earth, for the universe, for the sun. We know that when we sit in our gratitude, our energy attracts prosperity and growth. We know that we are all powerful beings of light and love. And each of our unique experiences is so beautiful and wonderful and not to be taken for granted. I invite everybody to wiggle their toes and their fingers and come back to the space and open your eyes whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Grace. Thank you so much. And
Thanks.
what I would love to ask you now is, what can we hold as a community for you? What would you love? What would you love from the Paradigm Shift to hold for you? We'd love to support you in any way.
Wow. I think that I just want you guys to hold my generation, you know, because I'm doing a lot better than a lot of other people out there that are my age. And I'm very grateful for my life, the way I was raised and the way that I've learned how to deal with everything. But if you guys could just hold clarity and growth and strength for my generation right now, that would be phenomenal.
righty then, here we go. Right, I think I learned this from you, Grace. Ready? And so it is. And so we
I love you and I bless you and I truly appreciate you. And I behold the Christ that you are.
Oh, back at you. Wow. Thank you so much, Grace. And from all of us in Paradigm Shifters and around the world, you give me hope. You give us hope. And we so appreciate you. So let's take another deep breath in. I love it. I'm going to click this here.